And we're back with some more Nova Scotia Supernovas franchise mode here in year number 6. And we're going to start things out with a couple of trades. First one is to the Dallas Stars, and it is going to be Jeremy Swayman, Valdemar William Hull, and Raiden Zacharias to Dallas for Tyler Seguin at 35% of his salary retained and a first-round pick. Now, at this point, obviously, Seguin not as good as he used to be. He's a 3-star ability now. Got some good offensive ratings in there still. Unfortunately, his stats this year have not been great. Only 2 points and 12 games played. But honestly, for this trade, Sagan's more of a throw-in than anything else. And we also do need to get some salary cap on board, so I figured he would make a good filler for the salary cap. Because we're only at $66 million right now currently, I believe. But the real thing here is the first-round pick, obviously. But honestly, the main point of this trade is to just get some for Jeremy Swayman because he's not been good. So Swayman, Hull, and Zacharias for Seguin and a first. And then we'll be making a second trade to Calgary, which will see Delbel Bellows going to Calgary in exchange for Dustin Wolf. Now, Delbel Bellows, he is 22. I don't usually give up on players that young. However, I haven't been impressed with his simulating. We do need a backup goaltender. Wolf hasn't really gotten a chance yet. So I think it'd be nice to give him a chance as a backup goaltender. And he's a 2.5-star ability, so he can certainly do it. And besides that, we have more forwards than I know what to do with. So trading Delbel Bellows, who is currently a depth forward, and I don't think will be much more than that, at least not on this team. So Delbel Bellows for Dustin Wolf, and hopefully that goes through. I have also offered contract extensions to Sergei Ivanov and Dominic Peter, so getting 2 of our key players locked up early. Oof. David Juracek out for 4 months with a torn back. Not good. So Dallas has accepted our trade. Swayman, Hull, and Zacharias for Seguin at 35% of his salary retained and a first-round pick. And that is completed. And Calgary has accepted our trade as well. So Delbel Bellows for Dustin Wolf. Complete. All right, so we're at about the halfway point of the season now. We are 43 games in. We are currently 14th in the league, 9th in our conference, and 6th in our division, 21, 19, and 3. It's been a bit rough as we take a look at the schedule heading back to December. Win, win, loss, win, loss, loss, win, loss, 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 win, loss, loss. So mostly losses there in December, it appears. And as seen by our record, just really back and forth all year so far. Offensively, we seem to be doing fine. We are 7th in the league in scoring, 3.67. And goals against per game, unfortunately, is down there in 23rd, 3.37. So defense could definitely be better. Power play, 7th in the league with a 23.9. And the penalty kill, unfortunately, 32nd out of 33 with a 75.7. So, as seen, defense could definitely be better. In goal, we're doing all right as of right now. I mean, Dustin Wolf with a .903 save percentage in 19 games, although part of that is from his time in Calgary with that 828 save percentage in 1 game. But with us, he has a .906 in 18 games. So he's not doing bad. Ivanov in 18 games as well with a .918 save percentage. So I don't know what it is about Ivanov. I don't know what he did get on Coach Rod Brendamore's bad side, but for some reason, Dustin Wolf, ever since that trade, has gotten more games than Ivanov has. As we take a look at his game by game, it appears he has played most of the games since that trade, even though statistically he's doing worse than Ivanov. So like I said, I don't know what Ivanov has done to get on Rod Brendamore's bad side, but I certainly would want him to get some more games. If I was in charge of that kind of thing, I would definitely be getting him in there more often than not. But unfortunately, that's not my call to make. So I just hope that whatever it is, that Rod Brindamore can get Ivanov in there some more, because I'm not sure why he's playing Wolf, especially when Ivanov has a better overall ability, he has better potential, he's younger, he has better stats overall. I don't know why he's not playing him. I mean, I thought we had this issue covered when we traded Swayman, who appears to be doing better for himself now in Dallas, that 911 save percentage, but reality of the situation is it just wasn't working out for him here anymore. So glad I made that trade. And speaking of that trade, Sagan's not doing too bad himself. 8 points in 16 games played. Grade-wise, he could definitely be doing better, but he's contributing offensively at least a little bit when he does get in there. So I have no problem with Sagan. I mean, he's most likely a temporary player anyway. He's probably gone after this year. Anyway, I guess the point I'm trying to make in saying all this is we have some good things going, but we definitely need to tighten up defensively. Although you could attribute some of our defensive struggles to the 9 games that Jeremy Swayman played earlier in the year. So when you take that out of the equation, our goals against per game probably looks a little less ugly, but still obviously not ideal given that it's way down there in the bottom 10 of the league. I might end up trading Golyev if it comes down to it, because he's listed as an offensive defenseman, and he certainly looks like it based off his offensive ratings compared to his defensive ratings. I mean, he does have the defensive read at 17, but is hitting at 11, shot blocking at 12, checking at 13. Those are kind of below average, honestly, especially hitting. Positioning's all right, but we could definitely do better if we're looking for someone who can chip in defensively. I mean, we do have Liljegren and Utica coming back. Well, Utica not anytime soon, unfortunately. But we do have Liljegren coming back soon. But even he's an offensive defenseman as well, so that doesn't exactly help our defensive part of things. Yeah, we're really missing Utica. He's got that offensive category way up there, and then even his defensive category is no slouch. So yeah, that was a big injury to Utica that happened there on November 1st with a torn back muscle. 2 to 3 more months. So he's already been out for 2 months, and for him to be out basically until March or April, that's unfortunate. Like, he's missing most of the season. And he was doing great when he was healthy. 13 points in 16 games. We're missing him big time, man. He's become a huge part of our defensive core. Even though he's only a 3.5-star player like Chychrun is, he's been phenomenal. Ooh, Jonas Wu actually turns out is a defensive defenseman. He's sitting down there in the AHL with the Utica Comets. I might actually bring him up because defensively he looks better than Golyev, and he might actually be better offensively too. Now that I look at him, getting open might not be as high as it is on Golyev, but even Golyev only has 12 getting open, so 11 doesn't make much of a difference. Yeah, I might bring up Jonas Wu. I might see what he can do, and then if he impresses, I think I might trade Golyev, because I don't see him having a spot on this roster, honestly. Especially once Liljegren gets back. So yeah, I'm going to call up Wu, and I'm going to see what he can do. Yeah, Jonas Wu, he is at least according to the defensive grade, he's our best defensive defenseman. Now, he's only played 4 games so far this year, so it's a small sample size. But still, it's a better defensive grade than anyone else on the defensive core, and we kind of need defense right now. Yeah, I'm thinking Golyev is going to be traded here. There's just not much room for him. And now that Liljegren's back as well, yeah, I'm going to find a trade for Golyev. We are just loading up on first-round picks. I'm going to get a first-round pick for next year from Winnipeg, and Ivan Barbashev, who's on the trade block, and their strength is at wings, so they could afford to give this guy up. And given that he's only a 2-star ability, I don't mind him passing through waivers if he has to. Honestly, Barbashev just on there to fill out the cap, because Winnipeg, for whatever reason, wouldn't be able to take on Golyev's contract. Anyway, I think we're going to do this trade. So Golyev for Barbashev and a first. And there it is. Winnipeg has accepted our offer. Golyev to the Winnipeg Jets in exchange for Barbashev and a first. Complete. And with that, I'm going to send Barbashev down to the AHL. And I will call up Jonas Wu once again. Poor Jonas Wu. He just gets called up and torn hamstring, 1 to 2 months. You honestly hate to see it. Like, look at this injury reserve. John Paterka has been out. He's out for the rest of the season, basically. Jonas Wu, 1 to 2 months. Juracek, 1 to 2 months still. And it looks like we're actually going to have to call up a defenseman because Chychrun is technically day-to-day. So up comes Brogan Rafferty, I guess. Good news, though. Lately, ever since that trade, we have been on the right track. We are now 3rd in goals for per game with a 3.88. So not only has our offense gotten better, but our defense has gotten better too. We're now 17th in the league. We were previously, I believe, 23rd, somewhere around there. We're now at 3.19 goals against per game. Now, the real question is the penalty kill. Power play is currently at a 25%, 3rd in the league. And penalty kill is still 32nd. Yeah, 75.9. That's going to be tough to crawl out of, but at least we're on the right track. We're now 32, 22, and 3. 3rd in the division, 4th in the conference, 6th in the league. So can't complain. As long as we are continuing to win, that's all that really matters in the end, but I would prefer that we get our penalty kill under control before the playoffs. But otherwise, it looks like we're pretty much set to go past the trade deadline here. Because besides the penalty kill, I have no issues with this team. Well, and the fact that Ivanov has only played 21 games so far this year. I mean, I really have no idea why Dustin Wolf is playing over Ivanov, because Ivanov, even in the few games that he does play, continues to outperform Dustin Wolf. He has a 926 right now in 21 games played. So I really have no idea what Rod Brindamore is thinking, but you know what? We're winning games, so that's good enough for me. But I still would prefer to have the better performing goaltender in there. After all, he played 60 games last year and he did just fine. He had a 911 save percentage, so he proved that he can go quite a distance and still perform well, and he's performing even better this year, but for whatever reason, Dustin Wolf is getting the majority of the games. Apparently, Rod Brindamore only has a bad relationship with Aaron Kiviharju. Could have fooled me. I mean, I expected to see Mr. Sergei Ivanov on that list for sure. Apparently, that's not it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Man, if there's one area we do not struggle in, it's offense. It is certainly offense. Look at this team. Brayden Yager with 61 points in 55 games played. Lodnia with 53. Peter with 48. Khmelevsky with 47. 43 for Tuck. 38 for Nemesnikov. 35 in 42 games for Stenberg. He was our leading scorer last year, and he has 6 guys ahead of him. I mean, granted, he's been injured quite a bit as well, as seen by his games played, but still, if there's anything we don't have to worry about, it's offense. So come playoff time, should we make the playoffs, which it looks like we will, we're on a pretty good track right now, I expect that we're going to be able to score goals. No, Lodnia. A fractured elbow for 3 to 4 months, so that's basically the playoffs too. That is one of the worst injuries possible. 61 points for Lodnia so far in the season, and he doesn't finish the season. I'm not sure if Lodnia is ever going to play a full season. If we look at his games played, the most games he's ever played his first season here with us was 79 games played. Then 73, 49, 69, 56. You're a good player, Lodnia, but man, you get injured a lot. And now all of a sudden we have 6 players on our injured reserve list, most of which are pretty big names. Yurichek, Wu, Stenberg, Nemesnikov, Lodnia, Peterka. If we make the playoffs, it's well-deserved. It is well-deserved if we make the playoffs with all these injuries we've had, man. Let me tell you. 36, 23, and 5. I don't see why we can't make the playoffs, but it is certainly going to be a task maintaining our position. So I suppose with that, we have to call up a forward. It's going to be either Boo or Velikov, I think. I'll call up Velikov. He has some NHL experience. And you know what? I don't want Khmelevsky to risk furthering that thigh muscle strain injury. So I think I'll call up one more forward so that Khmelevsky can get some rest. I don't want him getting injured right before the playoffs and going down with a long-term injury like Mr. Lodnia there. So I'll call up Daniil Boo as well. And for some reason that took out Velikov instead of Khmelevsky. So I don't know what coach is doing there, but I hope for the sake of maintaining Khmelevsky's health that coach takes out Khmelevsky and puts in Velikov. Because let me tell you, if Khmelevsky goes down 2, if you remember, he was clutch. Very clutch. In fact, he was the MVP of the whole playoffs last year. If he gets injured, I mean, it's still possible that we can win, but it's all the less likely. So really would prefer that he gets some rest there. Oh yeah, all of our players are just going down now. Kiviharju with an injury. This is not good. Dante Fabro out 1%. That is not good. Strained medial collateral ligament, 2 to 3 weeks. All right, so at least he'll be back for the playoffs. But man, we're getting a lot of injuries now here at the end of towards the end of the season. And with Kiviharju injured day to day, that means I have to call up now Tristan Doyle or Luke Ashton or Nikolai Makarov. May as well be Doyle. He's the youngest. Wow, look at how many defensemen we've had to ice this year. Liljegren, Fabro, Yurichek, Wu, Rafferty, Doyle, Chikrin, Kiviharju, Odelius, Fasia, Goliev. That is 9, 10, 11 defensemen, and only one of them was traded. That being said, we are at the trade deadline. We are 37, 25, and 5, second in our division with 79 points. Everything's looking pretty good, so I don't think we'll be making any trades. Goals for per game, we are third in the league with a 3.93, and goals against per game has stayed steady since we last checked, 3.19, 18th in the league. Not much to really complain about. Power play with a 26.7, second in the league, and the penalty kill, okay, it's gotten better. I mean, obviously we're in the same position as we were before, still 32nd in the league in regards to the penalty kill, but it is now at a 77%. So overall, the penalty kill itself has gotten better, just haven't moved up any ranks. So with that being said, I do like the way this team is trending, and I think we'll go the rest of the season here. Man, defensemen on this team are going down like flies. I have to call up Luke Ashton now because Liljegren got injured again. Our entire defensive core is injured. Why? So currently on defense, we have Chychrun, Doyle on the first defensive pair, who was in the AHL to start the season, Odelius with Rafferty, Facio with Ashton. Oof, man, this is rough. This is rough. I mean, at least most of our defensemen are coming back soon. Like Juracek 1 to 2 weeks, Liljegren 1 to 2 weeks, Fabro 2 to 3 weeks, same for Wu. I just hope, I hope that none of them have any setbacks in regards to their injury, especially this late in the season. That would not be good. Well, we are on April 6th. We are 43, 31, and 7, 93 points. Unfortunately, in this division, 93 points is not good enough. I mean, we were better last year for sure, but still, this division is very competitive. If we do not win this game against the LA Kings, we are not in the playoffs. And we also have to get some help from Florida. We need them to lose their last game. If Florida wins their last game, we're not in no matter what. But to give ourselves a chance, we need to win this last game against a very easy team in the LA Kings. They are 33rd in the league, last. If we can handle them to make the playoffs, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. It's been a rough season, but you know what? This is basically a playoff game, so we're going to go into it. Here we go. Come on, guys. Get it done. Get it done. Give yourselves a chance to play in the playoffs once more. Here we go. Start of the first period. And that's a goal for LA right off the bat. Gabe Velarde from Pinelli and Byfield. Come on, guys. Off to a bad start, but don't let it get to you. All right, there you go. David Juracek with the goal from Saad and Peter. His 44th assist of the season for Dominic Peter. And that's the end of one. We're at 1-1. Start the second on a good note, shall we? There it is. Nemesnikov from Juracek and Chychrun. All right, heading into the third, up by 1. Keep it that way. Come on, Nova Scotia. Come on, come on, come on. There it is. Alex Tuck from Zetterberg and Chychrun. We're up by 2. And, all right. Thank goodness we have basically won this game at this point. Lekarimaki from Jaeger. And that'll be it. Okay. We have given ourselves a chance. But as we have seen, our place in the playoffs depends on Florida. Did Florida win their last game? Yes, they did. Ugh. That's unfortunate. No playoffs this year. The year after we win the Stanley Cup. That is certainly unfortunate. I mean, we didn't have a bad season by any means. We got 95 points, but just wasn't good enough in this division. And I don't want to blame it all on injury, but injuries certainly played a big part in not making the playoffs this year. You know, we lose Lodnia. We lost Peterka for a significant amount of time. He hasn't played since, I believe, December 11th. Was the day of his injury. And he's still out for 1 or 2 more months. We lost Juracek for most of the season. Liljegren went down for a little bit. I mean, actually, I should point out, no one, not even Chmielewski, who had 81 games played, no one played a full season. That's how injury-riddled this team was this year. I mean, offense did their jobs. Jaeger with 82 points in 80 games, 64 for Peter, 58 for Chmielewski. Lodnia was 61 and 56. And then I don't know what Rod Brindamore was thinking, putting Dustin Wolf in for 51 games over Ivanov, who only played 27, who had a higher save percentage overall. He was better, just overall better than Wolf, and for some reason played only half as much. That is beyond me. So I guess with that, there go our hopes of a repeat, at least for now. And that'll be it for this one. And in the next one, we will get to the offseason of year number 6.